The year is 48 BC. Egypt stands on the brink of chaos. At its center, a queen whose name would echo through history, Cleopatra. But behind the allure and drama that history paints, lies a story untold, a narrative unexplored. Welcome to Historical Corridors, where the past is more than just dates and battles. It's about unearthing the truths hidden beneath the sands of time. Today, we delve deep into the life of Cleopatra, a figure celebrated as a symbol of wisdom and charm. But is this reputation truly deserved, or has a carefully crafted illusion mesmerized us? Join us as we journey through the corridors of history, piecing together the puzzle of Cleopatra's life. From her political maneuvers to her famed relationships, from her rule over Egypt to her dramatic fall, we will uncover the layers, consult the experts, and bring forth the lesser-known fact. So, buckle up as we challenge centuries-old perceptions, question the established narratives, and, just maybe, reshape your understanding of one of history's most enigmatic figures. This is not just another story of Cleopatra, the Great Queen. This is an exploration of a reputation that might have been built on foundations as shifting as the sands of the Egyptian desert. Was Cleopatra truly the great queen history remembers her as, or is there more to her story than meets the eye? Let's find out together, here on Historical Corridors. Cleopatra VI, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, has long been portrayed as a paragon of wisdom, power, and romantic allure. But how much of this image is a product of myth rather than fact? To unravel this, we must first understand the world Cleopatra inhabited. Born into a dynasty of Greek origin, she ascended to power in a realm where political intrigue and familial betrayal was rampant. Contrary to widespread belief, Cleopatra's ascension was not just a tale of charm and intelligence. It was a complex chess game in a turbulent political landscape, where alliances were as fragile as the shifting sands of the desert. In a time dominated by male rulers, Cleopatra's hold on power was extraordinary. Yet, historians argue that her portrayal as a great queen is an oversimplification of a much more intricate narrative. So, as we step further into the corridors of history, let's peel back the layers of legend to reveal the true face of Cleopatra. Was she the wise and just ruler, the seductress of lore, or something entirely different? To truly grasp Cleopatra's story, one must understand the era she lived in. The Mediterranean world was a chessboard of power, with Rome and Egypt as key players. Born in 69 BC, Cleopatra was thrust into a realm where familial betrayal was as common as political alliances. Her ascension to the throne was not a mere stroke of fate, but a testament to her political savvy in a male-dominated world. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were more than romantic liaisons. They were calculated political moves. Each alliance brought its own set of advantages and challenges to her reign. Cleopatra's political maneuvers were intricate, often blurring the lines between personal ambition and the greater good of Egypt. Her decisions were not just about survival, but about maintaining Egypt's sovereignty against the ever-expanding Roman Empire. Yet, historians question whether these alliances were hugely beneficial for Egypt or mere acts of self-preservation. Did these choices lead to her eventual downfall? At the age of 18, Cleopatra became the Queen of Egypt. She inherited a kingdom on the cusp of crisis, with challenges both from within and outside its borders. Her reign was marked by significant administrative decisions. Cleopatra wasn't just a figurehead. She actively involved herself in the governance of Egypt. From economic reforms to agricultural policies, her rule was a blend of innovation and tradition. However, her economic policies were a double-edged sword. While they aimed at stabilizing and enriching Egypt, some historians argue that they may have also burdened the common people and strained the kingdom's resources. Cleopatra's military strategies are equally debated. Her alliance with Mark Antony and involvement in Roman civil wars were gambles that had far-reaching consequences for Egypt. Ultimately, her rule was a complex tapestry of triumphs and failures. Her decisions, often driven by a need to safeguard Egypt's independence, left an indelible mark on the kingdom's history. Cleopatra's story, as most know it, has been significantly shaped by Roman propaganda. This was a calculated effort to discredit her, a narrative penned by her adversaries. Historians like Plutarch painted Cleopatra as a seductress, a foreign threat to Roman values and stability. This portrayal was more about Roman fears and politics than about the truth of Cleopatra's character. The image of Cleopatra as a temptress, rather than a strategic leader, was a convenient way for Roman leaders to explain and justify their own political failures and military defeats. These biased narratives were further romanticized and dramatized in later literature and films, further distorting her true legacy. The real Cleopatra, obscured by centuries of myth-making, was a far more complex and capable ruler than these caricatures suggest. In the next part of our journey through the corridors of history, we will explore Cleopatra's downfall, the fateful decisions that led to the end of her reign, and the lasting impact in Egypt. Cleopatra's final years were marked by a series of catastrophic events that would lead to her dramatic downfall and the end of the Ptolemaic kingdom. Her alliance with Mark Antony, once a symbol of strength, became her Achilles' heel. The Battle of Actium in 31 BC, where Octavian's forces decisively defeated Antony and Cleopatra, marked the beginning of the end. Following this crushing defeat, Cleopatra's grip on power weakened. She retreated to Alexandria, where she faced the inevitable encroachment of Roman power. Cleopatra's legacy in Egypt is a contentious subject. While some view her as a patriot fighting for her country's independence, others see her as a ruler who gambled and lost, bringing ruin to her kingdom. As we delve deeper into Cleopatra's story, it's crucial to consider the revisionist perspectives that have emerged, challenging long-held views about her. Modern historians like Mary Beard have scrutinized the traditional narratives, suggesting that Cleopatra's portrayal as a seductress and a manipulator is overly simplistic and often misconstrued. These revisionist historians argue that Cleopatra's image has been largely influenced by Roman propaganda and later Western interpretations, overshadowing her political acumen and leadership skills. This reevaluation offers a more nuanced view of Cleopatra, seeing her not just as a figure of romance and tragedy, but as a shrewd and competent ruler in a turbulent era. The complexity of historical figures like Cleopatra reminds us that history is often written by the victors, and the truth can be more multifaceted than it appears. As we reach the conclusion of Cleopatra's story, we reflect on her enduring legacy and the lessons it holds for us today. Cleopatra's life was a tapestry of ambition, power, and tragedy. Her reign was not just about romance and political alliances, but also about a woman's struggle to maintain her kingdom's sovereignty in a male-dominated world. Despite the controversies and the myths that surround her, Cleopatra remains a symbol of strength and intelligence. She defied the expectations of her time and left a mark on history that continues to fascinate us. The story of Cleopatra teaches us the importance of looking beyond the myths to uncover the truths about historical figures. It challenges us to question and reevaluate the narratives handed down through history. As we close this chapter on Cleopatra, let us carry forward the curiosity to learn more about the past and the people who shaped it. Who will you rediscover in the corridors of history? Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. Don't forget to subscribe to Historical Corridors for more fascinating stories from the past. Until next time, keep exploring the corridors of history.